Hey guys, welcome back. We had a good day in the market. It is February 11th. We're going to review 0-day options I took on SPY and Small Account Challenge. We're getting a little double header today because I uploaded yesterday for Mondays. So today you're getting yesterday's and today's. I want to get caught up. Yesterday was awful. Of course, the day after Good Green Day, I gave it all back and more. It wasn't because I've necessarily over traded. It was just my sizing. Trying to size up that $100 trade I made the day before on Monday, middle of the day ish. I was like, I'm somewhat accurate in the morning with my trades. It's just quick and small size. So I was thinking, if I could just get to $100 and kind of get it done with early on. Anyways, I've erased yesterday, unfortunately, but I'll just give you a little bit of what I was seeing real quick. Yeah. And let's see. Got one more, less aggressive. Yeah. Something about like that. So what was happening? I considered taking this on the break. Oh, actually it wasn't like that. This was, I don't know if it was right or not, but I had this out here. Yeah, it was more like that. That's right. I had both these, this one and that one. So I didn't take the break here. Didn't take this for retracement or zombie, whatever. So it rallied up, completed the cup there, came up. So then I'm looking for liquidity being built here. Yeah, this one was from, yeah. So charted this one up here, went long on that break. Maybe took a little profit. If I can, the timing's right. Yeah, it is. Oh, maybe I didn't catch that right there. I don't know. Basically, it kept breaking out and then breaking out and retracing, and kept, well, basically breaking my bullish liquidity selling. Kept doing it and then drop back in. Kept doing it, drop back in. And what was happening that I didn't realize, so I kept going along and then I'd average in on the retest and then it'd drop, and it happened again and again. And this to me just looked like flat up here. But what I didn't realize was there was actually a very mellow buying channel, which is bearish. Regardless if it's bearish though, the fact that it's breakout, that was the risk right up to that. And I didn't have that charted. So I was down $100 basically within 2 stop outs right here, just because my sizing was larger. So it's like, oh, I should have quit. And yeah, I did. I mean, I stopped for a long time. But yeah, of course, on hindsight, you can start to see stuff much clearer, potentially. Yeah, so that sucked, and then I basically ended up giving up all of the day before's gains plus like $60. So very ugly price action. I forgot, like, we hadn't had days like this. I don't know. It's like when you don't see it for a while in SPY. It's like I know it's there. It's been a while since we've had just really ugly price action like this. If I had charted that very mellow buying channel that it was buying up in, that would have saved me a lot. Didn't. So lesson from that, yeah, if I'm taking the break on it and it doesn't work, I need to be charting right away and seeing if there's another channel that I'm missing. And today is a good example of that. I'll show you what I did today. But yeah, bad Tuesday, but it's gonna have to happen. My max loss of 50, like, it's gonna be really tough if I'm trying to make 100. So yeah, anyways, let's get to today. Coming today, you know, I don't feel like I'm emotionally charged or anything, but yeah, trying to take it easy. So gapped up here, completed this cup in the morning with that wick, and started selling off his Eric's chart. He is SPY Day Trading on YouTube, and the link for his Discord is in the description. So we're up above the red channel here. Still firmly in this green buying, but it's so far up here, like it could come all the way down here and still be in that buying channel. So kind of hanging out in the middle of nowhere. Starts off just with straight selling. Gold, I didn't chart that early. My first one, I think here is this purple. Yeah, I don't think I was open. Yeah, no, I was there pretty early. I came in like right about here. I was a little bit late, a few minutes late. This is the first one I charted. Was this bullish controlled selling right here? This purple. So threw that in there, and then this precision selling gray. Put that in. I think gold is next. Yeah, got gold from this action, resistance, this support flipping to resistance, and then down here, these three candles. And then it also kind of confirmed when it broke here and retested. Well, I'm not quite sure the angle. I think Eric had a steeper angle on that gold. That's his magenta, I think. So let's look at the trades today. It was kind of a crazy day. Not super crazy, but yeah, it ended up doing a big sell-off all the way to the moving average right off the bat. So it came up. I'm looking for potential for puts on a retest here. It's kind of an inflection point, or to go long here for a cup close. I didn't have this gold at that point. Or a break here potentially for puts. So it did its move up. The range this morning was pretty typical to recent history. About 2 points, 3 points right here. I guess that's, yeah, almost 2 points. So not very big yet. First trade was 957. Gotta put. So came up here. I guess, yeah, this retested gold pretty nice right here. And I like to take those, but they're more risky. Like which is good, risky entries, but I'm not too certain on my stops. I think this happened pretty fast. This candle's large. Yeah, that's a point candle right there. So anyways, just waited for that. This candle was super fast. Flushed through the gold, which was my trigger to go short, get puts. However, I had charted this purple, remember? And so this happened too fast, and this literally would have been my trade from here down to here. So I didn't jump in there. Risk reward, I mean, I guess it's a good risk reward. It's too small of a range. My stop's right here, and then, yeah. Anyways, so then I started jumping around in there. Came up. I actually kind of found this as resistance then, this gold. It came above it, but this candle, these three candles. And I was still, this is a situation where my charting kind of hurt me in the sense that I saw this, I guess you'd consider it tapering, this purple. And so I didn't see the risk to reward being there. Because I thought, well, this is going to be support right here, so I don't want to take too much right here until we have a bigger retrace. So there's always a possibility that the stronger selling algo will break out of it like it did right here, but yeah, anyways. So that's why I didn't jump in anywhere in here. I put another gold in here, but that didn't really do that. But you can imagine if this wasn't here, well, there's a few of them. But anyways, if that wasn't there, it's like, yeah, this looks like a nice clear head and shoulders. Bringing the gold downside's pretty big. I mean, there was a gap to fill somewhere down here. We had moving averages down here. The retrace was small, but it's a head and shoulders for sure, and a pretty clear structure. Anyways, so at gray, so I put that in. Once it broke gray, came down here, retraced. Where did I get in this thing? Yeah, 957. So on this candle, I actually got in. Oh, I was messing with my hotkeys and stuff on E-Trade. I'm trying to set up hotkeys. So I changed some of the settings. One of them was like getting less confirmation, so it's fewer clicks basically. And so I jumped in here, and that was normal. But then my exit was one less click, so I actually exited kind of on accident. I mean, it wasn't on accident. I was getting prepared to exit, and I probably would exit anyways. But yeah, so I entered right here, and I It literally exited 14 seconds later. I mean, this was a fast candle. Look at that volume. So it was a nice trade. I exited like right down here. I was preparing to exit, and anyway, came back up here. I probably would have exited here anyways. So about the same exit, most likely. It was 93 cents to 115. So nice little trade there, just on that breaking of that purple into the stronger blue or gray. And sure, it would have been nice to get at that resistance. Would have been nice to get on this retest, but for those reasons I didn't, because this purple is here. And maybe this isn't a good algo or channel that I drew, I'm not sure, but that was my reasoning for not getting in sooner. So grab that. It came up, retested. Yeah, it retested the purple here, and then I put a gold for the structure being built. Flush through. I'm like, oh man, this thing is just selling, aggressive selling. I wanted to hear, but it was so fast. So I wait a little bit to try and get it to recover and retest here, and I did. I think I got on this. Yeah, 10:03. I got it here, and then it came up. I was like, oh boy. IV was starting to increase now too with this volatility. The contracts are getting a little more expensive. These were, what were these? 691. So my first one was 693s, and then I got 691s here. Strike down there was mostly because of pricing, I guess. So anyways, I'm looking at it, and then I chart this red right here from these three resistances after I get in, and I put it here for support, and yeah, it was respecting that also with these three candles. So I'm like, oh man, I mean, potentially it won't come all the way back up there. Maybe it'll go here, but this is where I had it. So I didn't want to hold this, unfortunately, now that you see what happened. I couldn't really manage my risk there. It was pretty volatile. The retrace was so small that this just felt like a scalp. And I think what would have helped me maybe is if I had more time to glance at 30-minute and kind of understood we've got all that liquidity that sucked from yesterday and even the day before some. And this head was just head on this head and shoulders. I mean, it didn't need a big retrace because it was grabbing all that liquidity. So that's kind of the way I see it. And the days like today that kind of sell off quickly like that and don't have big retraces intraday are usually because, let me turn it down a little bit, sorry. Usually because it has liquidity from a prior day, a previous day, that so it doesn't need to, it can just kind of sell quickly. So that's kind of I mean, once you get used to it, you can see, okay, quick little structure is going to happen. It's going to keep selling. But there's usually a reason. Usually it's on the 30-minute. There's liquidity it's grabbing, not from today. That makes sense. So then, like, right, compared to today, like, it built all its liquidity here and it never used it. So this might be used another day. But if it used it today, you'd see a retrace, you'd see a head, inverse head, and then it would grab it. But not enough time today. So anyways, yeah. So I got in here, and I actually got a break even stop out at 10:05 on this candle. So it came down, and I didn't want it if it was just selling this red. Even though this red's nice, I didn't know where the top of this red channel was. Like, it's steep enough, but yeah, it kind of keeps bouncing off the bottom of it. I'm like, eh. So I jumped out, and if you're like, to have your consistency be there, you have to take the trades that you're setting up to take, all of them, and let the odds play out. Kind of like a casino. If you're the house doesn't close a casino. If someone takes a big win, they have to play it out for the averages to work out. So with that said, it's fine I stopped out there, but then I needed to take this right here. So then it broke this steeper. If I didn't have this in here, then I maybe would have held it. The fact that I put this in there is fine, but to get the averages out, I need to take then it breaking here. So did it here, broke into a steeper algo, and then doing it here, breaking even a steeper one. So this degree and then steeper, and it keeps breaking into this white or gray. So I didn't take this one. I don't think. Yeah, I didn't take that one. And you can kind of imagine why. I mean, it's just, yeah. Maybe should have. It was already selling in such a steep one that, yeah, I guess that's probably part of the reason. But this, yeah, this would have been a nice easy one with gray managing my stops. Yeah, so it came down, and I'm let's see, I'm up a little bit. I'm still up pretty good actually. Yeah, at that point, I think I'm up like $25, $30 maybe. So not bad. I'm still kind of shooting $50 a day, but really like 100. That one move where I'm kind of scaling into, I'm just hoping it gets to 100 instead of 50, and it will get to 100 most likely, as long as I'm not super red before it and I'm recovering from morning red trades. Next trade is at 1036. So I charted this green, kind of a less aggressive selling. I considered taking it on the break here. I thought if it comes down to retest gold, maybe I'll take it for a retracement. Zami. Got in here. Why did I do that? It's a put. That's why. Yeah. So to me, this is retesting gold right here, as well as it breaking this red. So we have two resistances here. So I jumped in here for puts. At this point, it had tested 20-day. 5-day was further down. I thought it could keep going to 5-day. And then I had just had this red for my stop. But this is a pretty big range. It's pretty volatile at that point. So this was pretty nasty, actually. 1036 to 1039. Yeah, so in there, out on that candle. Yeah. That was a little unfortunate. That was $1 to 86 cents. That was 6.89. These were a little closer to the money too, so the loss was a little greater. That hurt my profit from the earlier trade. And after that, 1046, same minute candle calls in and out. Yeah, I think let's see. Okay. So then it since it did break up into this red. There's another something else there. Kind of got an inverse head and shoulder here, or cup and handle. Why'd I get it here? I think on the retest here, and I'm kind of getting in. I don't think I had gold, or no, I did have gold at that point. Yeah, I think there was maybe another line I had drawn here that made it make more sense. Yeah, maybe it was this gray. That's what it was. I think that's what it was, which was kind of a mistake. So it broke that gray, and then that's where I'm jumping in here. Don't like that. This gold wasn't here at that point, just this lower one. So it is kind of a cup and handle. You got a little shoulder and a little inverse head and shoulder here. But yeah, that was another red trade. 1046, 82 cents to 76 cents. In and out in the same candle. I probably had a buying channel that was my, yeah, that's what I did right there, I think. Yeah, you know what? I got it when it was green up here. I didn't get it down there. I got it when it's green up here. And I just used gray. I'm like, all right, if it breaks gray, I'll get out. And I think it did. That could have been mitigated. Should have done that. I was impatient. 1123. 1125 in calls. So didn't catch that. This gold wasn't here at that point. I had purple. This wasn't in here either. 23. So this is a break on purple, I think. Yeah, so another little inverse head and shoulder here. To break on purple. I think I'm just playing the gray and thinking gray will be my stop. It's above VWAP at that point. That's a purple line. Really not too sure though. I knew I was early, like, because my higher purple line right up here, it hadn't hit yet. I've just been a little anticipatory, which is kind of unlike me. Maybe I lacked patience today. 1123 to 1125. So in on this one. Oh, that's what it was. Never mind. I did have gold. All right, I had this gold right here. That's right. So what happened here? And the fact that it was in the wedge, I think, is why this didn't work. It broke up out of gold. That's why I was going long. So this bearish controlled buying right here, it broke up of it according to my charting and was buying up in gray. So that's why I went long there with gray being my stop. Now, maybe this would only be if, I mean, it's not like grabbing liquidity or anything like that, so that could be part of it too. This is maybe only a good trade if it's in the right direction and you're outside of a wedge. Like here, there was no wedge, we're outside of a wedge, and then it's breaking in the same direction. This, if it was buying up here in the gold and then it breaks to the upside, that's about when it would have worked. I mean, it doesn't always work, of course. Sometimes it will just be a stop hunt or something, but that was my thinking on that, which, yeah, being in the middle of the range, I don't know. Maybe sometimes that works, I'm not sure, but that's why it's that was my reasoning. So I'm glad there's reasoning at least. It wasn't just complete random. 12-17, 12-18, 12-19 buying calls. These are 694 calls. So we came up. Here's my purple. Here's my last one. I didn't have gold at that point. This gold, it's dark gold, this direction. I had that one. Came down. I put this in. This wasn't here either. I mean, it was down here. I didn't have that one though. Came down, inverse head. I'm still thinking a retrace. I think on the 30-minute. Where are we? Yeah, on the 30-minute we had some upside to the resistance, the magenta resistance. But yeah. So let's see, 12, 17, 18, 17, 18, 18, 20. I got 4 of these things. Okay, here we go. Here's the good one. It's kind of weird. Like looking at it now, I'm like, did I just get lucky with this, or was this correct? Curious what you guys think. I mean, it works, but that doesn't mean it's right. So it broke my purple. We do have yeah, I think that's what it was for me. So my upside was with gold here. It's still buying up in this gold channel. So broke it here. I got it on this wick, this candle. It was probably more like up there. First one was for 49 cents. Next one, the next minute, was also for 49 cents. And then it's starting to punish me here and comes back into purple. And just a couple weeks ago, I would have said, all right, purple's my hard stop. And maybe it should have been, I'm not sure. But I want to give it a little bit of room, given VWAP midday. Thinking horizontally, it could come down and kind of retest some of these levels. And ultimately, the stop would be this gold, which I probably wouldn't hold till there. But anyways, I just want to give it a little bit of room because there was nice volume here on the break too. Nice big volume. I thought I was kind of retesting. I thought my lines might be a little bit off, so give it a little bit of room. And I kind of kept buying into it. 49 cents at 12.18. These are limit orders. Then at 12.20, I got one for 44 cents, which is right here. So I was like, oh boy. Hard to explain why I had the conviction. In the moment, it's like, maybe I had gold. Yeah, I think maybe I had this gold also. But anyways, I mean, you had a little cup here, but this definitely retraced further. I don't know. This cup, I can only explain breaking the purple, which if I had more channels like gold and stuff, maybe I would have not taken it. But anyways, I guess if I had defined risk, which I did, it was a little loose though, unfortunately. That could have been bad. So bought it up, and then I held through gray in there, and we climbed, and I'm just trying to chill as much as I can. Okay, yeah, actually now I remember. So right at that point, once I did all this, and I had four contracts, I'm like, okay, I want to sell all three at some point, maybe leave one for a runner. That's when I charted this gold. So somewhere in here, actually just before this candle, like right here, I was like, all right, what's going on here? Because this broke, and now it's coming back in. And this is what I was saying earlier in the video when I was talking about yesterday, or 2 days ago, whenever it was, that red day. Yeah, it was yesterday. Where if I'm wrong about the breakout, like sometimes it breaks out and it comes down to retest still, that's fine. But I need to chart right away and see if there's a reason, there's something I've missed. So that's when I charted this gold, which I don't know if this ended up being legit. I think so. I think this is a legit algo here, maybe. But anyways, with these two resistances and then this one, and so that's my thinking on this exit. So my first exit, especially with the drawdown I had there and seeing this gold, I was like, all right, potentially it's going to find resistance here, because this might be a new channel that I haven't drawn yet. I have it here though. No, I think I ended up putting it back up there. I don't know if I had that. I think I was duplicating and put it up here. Or no, that's from later in the day. Yeah, that's not from there. That's from later up here. Anyway, so I took my first contract right there, which was like break even. So I had 4. It was a little bit green maybe. Took the first one to 49 cents. So at that point I had 3. And then it does this candle. I'm like just sitting. My targets are here, bottomless liquidity if it wants to reject that. Top of this gold, top of this. Those are all my targets. Of course, breaking white, I'll consider jumping out. Anyways, comes up, nice big candle here, nice volume. So I'm pretty stoked about that. Not looking at P&L or anything. Nice big volume on that one. I had this gray. I think I took one here just because top of that gray was hitting. And this isn't something I'm working on, just like the resistance, putting in the resistance to find exits. It's like this, I don't know where to put this. I know for the supports, but like, is this here? Is it here? So it's a little bit of a guess, like for me, the width of these channels. I think I had it on that, and then this, yeah, that was nice slippage on that one. So close that one for 89 cents. So that was like almost 100%. Yeah, which is crazy. Yeah, from here to here was almost 100%. I mean, the range was pretty big today. It came down like 9 points, I think, total, or 8 points. So look at that. Close the next one at 12.30 for 83 cents. So that was kind of at the beginning of this candle, actually, very beginning of it, because I noticed once this candle's going to close, I'm like, we're going to be out of that gray. I'm going to close another one. And then I only had one left, and that was kind of my runner. And that one I held all the way through here. It came up, and that's when I duplicated the gold. That's where I'm getting the gold from right here. And I actually closed that one on this candle, kind of the beginning of this candle. Once I saw it start to find resistance on that gold, I'm like, all right, this might be a top. So I closed that last one right there, which I'm stoked on that exit. I held it through all this. I was fine, like it went down and up. That exit, of course, wasn't as good as the other ones, but that's the price to pay. That was 74 cents. Glad I got out of it. I suppose I could have flipped there, but no. I was good. At that point, the account was up. It was like 96 bucks. It's like, oh my goodness, that's awesome. All these trashy plays, and then just one that I've leveraged into, scale up in, and it works. I'm like, I don't even understand. Like, this one isn't as clear to me as some other trades that have worked. I don't know. Anyways, so that was that trade, and I kind of wanted to stop, but I'm like, I'm not quite at 100. I could kind of keep trading. So I gave back some for sure. 110 into a put. Yeah, so break of this gold. I kind of stuck to it though. It was in the wedge. I was like, all right, it's got to get out of this wedge for me to trade it. Unfortunately, I think there was a bigger wedge maybe. So 110. I jump in on here with puts. With one put, 45 cents. Closed out at 117. So yeah, this big massive candle came out of nowhere. It was doing what I wanted to do. I liked it, and I was looking for. I think maybe I put that in because of that bottom. But that I maybe had this put in here. So this is one of my targets. Bottom is gold. Bottom of this one, and that was from this resistance up here. So, you know, I should have done a break even on that one. That's what I should have done. I was basically at my target on the day, and that would have made sense to just limit my risks. And if it stops me out and it goes in my direction, that's fine. My entry on here is not like a great entry, so it would have been a very easy stop out if it was break even. I guess I wanted to be a little more aggressive than that. So 45 cents to 33 cents. Gave some back there, unfortunately. Closed it on that candle once it closed above the yellow or gold or whatever. Next one was 117 to 118 on puts. Yeah, I need to do that. Actually, I got back in here. Yep. I thought it was retesting. Once it came down, I was like, oh, it was just retesting, a little stop hunt retest of this break. I actually got back in. I remember that. Yep. Got back in here. How was this even red? 117 to 118. Just got an ugly fill. Yeah, I probably got them. This was red. Oh, okay, then there. So yeah, got back in here and stopped out there. Stupid. 35 cents, 28 cents. Pretty small loss, but just little paper cuts. 214 in the call. Oh, okay. Gold. Remember that gold that I charted back here? It broke it, and it's finding support. So I jumped in there. Starts chopping around, holding it as support though, which I like. I got two. They were out of the money though. They were 695s. They were up here, and I was looking for a target of up here. That's why I got those. Should have gotten 694s, thinking this is the top of a cup that it potentially might stop at initially. I think I like the cheaper price later in the day. Try not to risk as much. So these were 14 cents. They went up to like 17, 18 cents, which is, I don't know, 20% or something. I had two of them, so it just wasn't much profit. And again, I kind of got the strike as a, not a lotto, but something to hold if it came up here. And they weren't really, you know, increasing a whole lot from here to here. Unless if I got the 694s. That wasn't a bad move. That was half a point. 694s would have been perfect. Or even the 93s, but that was too expensive. Yeah, I should have gotten the 694, maybe just one of them. And then if it made the cup, yeah. I did that the other day. I did it smart. Like I started with the strike further up where I really wanted it, and then I looked close. I'm like, well, it might complete the cup here, and I got a lower strike. Just higher delta, and it served me well because I closed them all out at that cup. So yeah, I need to pay attention to that strike. Anyways, 14 cents to 5. So that's actually pretty nasty. Like it was just hanging around 14 cents, 12, 10 for most of it. And then, oh, that's why. Yeah, this nasty candle came in. That's why. It wouldn't have been such a bad stop. Okay. Yeah, I don't know where this came from. Ton of volume. Came down here, closed down way below my stop. I mean, my stop really was this gold, but realistically it would have been probably earlier than that. I closed it out somewhere on this candle. Was it 47 or was it actually on... No, it was actually on 46. Somewhere on this candle I closed it. So that's where the 5 cents comes in, which sucks. 351, 352, end of day lotto that was totally unnecessary. There's nothing going on the 30-minute chart, which is basically the only time you're going to get a good 10-minute move. And so here's the 10-minute. That little shoulder here. Head. I've done this before in the 10 minutes. If it makes just a mini head and shoulders, I go for it. So I jumped in here and was hoping to grab this liquidity then and kind of come down to the bottom of the wedge. Rallied up here and I closed it there on that gray. That was 27 cents to 14. So that was kind of in the money, which caused it to be a little more of a loss maybe. There are the trades end up looking like a lot. Doesn't feel like a lot, but I'm still up quite a bit. Gave back maybe half, so not super bummed. I think once I get close to, what am I gonna do? I get close to that target. Completely stop. Set rules for trades I'd want to get into. Maybe like have to wait for cups to close or inverse cups before I enter. I don't want to give it away because, especially on this trade that felt a little sketchy. Like I should have just been content. Yeah. And I've been using, or I just started. I'm trying to find a good journaling software. There's not very good ones for options. Here's this. Before I inputted yesterday's, this was over 50%, so that really had a crush. This is just from the last 3 months. It's from November 11th. I started to kind of notice a turning point towards the beginning of the year. Like you can see it here on the graph, like December started to just kind of be more consistently win. And then this is that big green day. Kind of starting to have a drawdown now, but yeah, I think we're on the right track. This one's annoying though. Like it doesn't, inputting the trades is like all very manual. It's not clean. Need to find another one. Sub up, like up, comment down. Happy money sticks around. Thanks for watching, guys. See you tomorrow. Peace out.